This month, our spiritual theme at First Unitarian Universalist Church of Austin is liberation. I think many of us never imagined what a different perspective on that term, liberation, we might come to hold during this time of hunkering down and social distancing. I don't know about you all, but I am looking forward to the time when we will be liberated from having to practice this sheltering in place, this social distancing. This morning, I'd like to talk some about some of the ways we might avoid entrapping ourselves with unrealistic expectations during this strange and challenging time through which we're living. What are some of the things which we might need to let go in order to liberate ourselves from self-imposed anxiety and judgment during this period, when we all have plenty enough stress in our world already? Well, for me, one of the big ones is letting go of expecting myself to handle moving through a pandemic in perfect fashion. None of us can do that. None of us has ever had to handle this before. And in fact, because we are under stress, trauma, all of us are likely a little ADHD about now. We're likely to make mistakes we wouldn't normally make. We're likely to be more forgetful than usual. We're likely to have less stamina than we ordinarily do. Last week, I had to don my face mask and protective gloves and head into a Randall's grocery store because none of the groceries in our area had any delivery or curbside pickup time slots available. I got my groceries and a very nice woman bagged them and put them into my cart for me. But when I got home, I discovered that several of my items were missing. That woman didn't give me all my groceries, I thought to myself. So off I went back to Randall's to march in and demand my missing groceries. Well, luckily, I parked right by where I had left my cart because there, in the bottom basket of the cart, was the other bag of groceries right where I had left it when I loaded everything else into the car. This week, I was back in Randall's again for the same reason, no curbside or delivery available. A woman checking out in front of me from 6 feet away was placing her items in a bag with her right hand. The checkout clerk completed the transaction and told her the amount owed. In a sudden panic, the woman exclaimed, "Oh my God, where's my wallet?" And then she turned and saw that she had been holding her wallet in her left hand the whole time. She looked at me with embarrassment. I smiled and said, "Don't worry, we have all been doing that sort of thing all the time." We both laughed together, and it was a blessed relief to laugh with someone. When we're under stress, we are all more likely to make these sorts of absent-minded mistakes. Let's forgive ourselves. And please keep in mind, be especially careful when driving. People are accidentally running red lights and stop signs and changing lanes without even looking. Here's another thing to let go. If any of you are like me and have always strived to be an A student, we may need to let go of that for a while too. If we make it through this as a C student, we'll be fine. I know I've sent email messages to the wrong person and texts that were so full of typos they made no sense at all. To our folks who are trying to work from home while parenting and providing homeschooling, I especially want to say that you are doing it well enough. You have been given a nearly impossible challenge. You get an A+ just for the Herculean effort. Another thing I've been learning to let go is having to be strong all the time. Keep that stiff upper lip I was taught most of my life in my white Euro-Scandinavian family. We have to feel the grief, the fear, the anger, the stir craziness. We have to feel all of it in order to move through it. That doesn't mean we have to stay there forever, just that we can't try to stuff it all down, numb it. We're all also having to let go of our ideas of separateness. We will only make it through this together, and we can be in it together even while we're physically apart. We're all also having to let go of what was our daily routines. That may be an opportunity for longer-term change, though. I'm trying to start the day with a nice walk instead of looking at the news right away. Another thing I had to let go is feeling like I should be doing more. I'm trying to be careful with that word should. It can lead me into all manner of trouble. So those are some of the big ones for me. I invite you to consider what it might help you to let go, or at least hold a little less tightly during this time. One final big one for me has been learning to live with not being able to have physical contact with other people. Now, I love preaching and leading worship and all the aspects of doing ministry, but I have discovered during this time that one of the things I have loved most about my ministry and that I miss most was the Sundays when Meg, our senior minister, was preaching, and I would be what I called the floor minister. You know how restaurants and retail stores have had a general manager, that would be Meg, and then a floor manager who would move about, checking in with people? That's kind of what I got to do as a minister on those Sundays when we could be in the church together, and will get to do again someday. Move about the church. Listen to folks. Ask how you're doing. Try to help with any issues you might be having. I miss doing that. I miss being able to shake hands or hug or put a hand on your shoulder. But I am learning that love can radiate through a computer screen or a phone call or even email or text message. Love can travel from 6 feet apart. So even though right now I'm doing it through a computer video camera, I am sending you much love. Even though I'm recording this a few days before you will see it on Sunday, the love will still be there. And I'll be there too, chatting with you in the comments. Because the one thing we can't let go is love. Not even a virus can quarantine love. Amen.